8 minutes past the hour of 9. I am Usman Apaya. Welcome you to your favorite morning show, the Badeggi Radio Link. On the program today, we shall be looking at the youths. Yes, today's program is going to be all about youth advocacy. And of course, to do justice to the program for today, we have some youths in the studio. Together, we shall be having a conversation that is tilting towards the liberalizing the youth in Nigeria. For to be more precise on this program, youth in Niger States. I have the Growing Minds Initiative, and of course, their members are here. We have Shamsuddin Abdrazak, who is the executive director of this movement. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me and our team this morning.
Yes. Next to him, we have Abdrazak bin Mohammed, who is the monitoring and evaluation
specialist at Altruistic and Humanitarian Aid Foundation, and it's Mubarak.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, sir.
You are very much welcome to the studio. Well, what is your initiative all about? Let's have that first.
Yes, Glowing Minds Initiative for Human Development is a non-profit organization based here out of Niger, and we are a youth development organization, so we focus on employability, entrepreneurship, leadership, and policy development for young people.
Yes, thank you. And you want to add your voice before?
No, there will be nothing for me to say for now.
Well, okay. What plans do you have for Niger State youth as far as advocacy is concerned?
Yes, so since our inception, so our story of youth development started out of Mina here. So it started out of the Federal University of Technology, Mina. So where we started out sometimes in 2018 for the campus entrepreneurship program, where we felt the need that young people had to have skills and development, and we started out with training about 100 young people in FUT in 2018, and since then we've been able to reach out to other young people across Nigeria. So in fact, we've been able to reach about 10,000 young people across 33 states in Nigeria. So, and when the issue of youth policy came about, we felt the best place to start is home, which is Niger. So, and we actually at this stage advocating for the design and the development of the Niger State Youth Policy.
Because he is under pressure from the Zionist crowd in the United States. And let me emphasize, that's not Jewish. The Zionists included a lot of Christians like Mike Huckabee. But they are insistent upon destroying Iran. They don't want a deal with Iran.
Where the Federal Ministry of Youth designed the youth policy, then at the state level would domesticate it. And this is a document that the federal government used to design programs, policies, and activities generally that young people in Nigeria can benefit from. So now that the advocacy is going up at the national level, so we also felt the need to start the advocacy here at the state level, so that when the policy is ready, Niger will not be left out of it. So currently in Nigeria, we only have about 4 states. That's Lagos, Kaduna, Osun, and Lagos, Kaduna, Osun, and one other state. Oh, sorry, the FCT. Yes,
FCT.
Yes, the FCT that already have a youth policy designed and documented and already implementing. So the vast number of other states in Nigeria have not been able to have it, which is including Niger, and we felt the need to lead that advocacy for Niger.
Okay, let me come to Mubarak bin Mohammed. From your monitoring and evaluation, how far so good the youth of Niger State in queuing into the project?
Well, as Mr. Shamsuddin has already stated, we're at the advocacy level and we'll be meeting with key partners to ensure that this documentation is being done properly for Niger State. Right now, we're on the basis of laying a groundwork for ensuring that the policy, should it be introduced to Niger State, there'd be a smooth transitioning and implementation of the policy. It shouldn't just be a word for the mouth. We need it properly documented. So that's the level as at where we are currently, sir.
Okay, what level of commitment have you gotten from the government? Have you been working with the government, and what is the journey so far?
Yes, so we've started our advocacy from our mother ministry, which is the Ministry of Youth. So we've had communications with various stakeholders within the ministry, most especially the current commissioner, Jacob Issa Baba. So we've had a conversation with him, and he's actually shown interest in making sure that the particular document, that is the youth policy, comes to life. And so we are currently at the stage of also interacting. So you are also giving a go-ahead to interact with other key stakeholders within the ministry. That is both the PAMSEC and the Director of Youth. So we are at that stage. In fact, yesterday we were also at the ministry, and we had some conversations with some of the directors under the ministry. So at this stage that we are at the, like Mubarak said, we are laying the foundation. And in the coming days, we'll also be interacting with some other key stakeholders within the state that also have anything that has to do with young people, so that the long-term project is very soon. We are going to be having a co-creation session where we'll bring every stakeholders into the room. And currently also we have a survey going on, which is online, where young people in Niger are feeling what exactly they expect from the government. So all these are some of the things that we're currently doing, so that at the end of the day, we are able to bring both the young people and the government, and definitely the media also, and all of us will be in the room, and we say, okay, this is exactly what we want for Niger, because we want it to move away from before, where we have a situation whereby a document is just even being designed. You don't even know what is it, and that is a document that is using to govern you. Now we're saying, okay, the young people will be in the room, the government will be in the room, the media will be in the room, development organization will also be in the room. All of us will be in the room, and we said, okay, this is a document we've designed, and this is how it's going to be benefiting everybody. So, and when we are done with that, it's going to be the media is going to help us to amplify it, so that we'll be able to also hold each other accountable. And so, okay, this is what we've agreed on. How far so far? Are we actually going by it, or if there is a problem, so where is the problem and how can we fix it?
Okay, in developing this document, what are those things you are putting into consideration? Not minding the fact that if you want to do something for me, then it must be something that really suits me. You understand? Everybody has his own area of interest. So how are you working towards harmonizing this interest to make sure that whatsoever you want to do for the youth is what suits the youth? What is the modalities?
As he has already rightly stated, an online survey is currently ongoing.
Okay.
And the people who are filling this survey are actually Nigerites, not just people in Mina, people across all over Niger. Now, from the surveys that are being conducted, we are asking their interest. Now, if you go across, let me take, for example, the major cities in Niger State, like Mina, Suleja, Bida, you'd find Kontagora, you'd find a lot of vibrant, young, educated men wasting away, doing nothing. So now the initiative has made this survey available so as to understand what their interest is, what their expectations are, and how the government would be able to come in and better their situations. We're still collecting data from the survey, and probably maybe before the end of this month would be done compiling the results from the survey, sir.
Okay, what makes your initiative different from the previous ones we used to have, where the beginning used to be very sweet, but at the end of the day, cascade into politics, and what makes your own different from the previous ones?
Okay, so like you've rightly mentioned, So I told you our own initiative started out of a university campus 2018. So we've had the 2019 general elections, we've had the 2023 general elections, and we're having another general elections coming 2027. So that's like three. We've been able to withstand ourselves going through three election cycles, and we've not dabbled into politics. So and we are a very institutionalized organization. So that tells you the fact that we are pro-youth, we are for young people, and we'll try as much as possible to make sure that we actually stay true to the mission of our organization. So there are clear paths, organizations that are doing true work and without possibly dabbling into politics. So and I also wanted to correct a notion as regards politics. So politics is about service and leadership service for the community. So what that simply means is the fact that anybody that is in politics should be a larger place for you to be able to do good for the community. But unfortunately, what we've had is a situation whereby some of those things have not been, some people have been not been able to use the office well, and that's why maybe we have a very wrong notion of politics. But in the larger scheme of things, if we are to go by the book, when you move from maybe a development organization to politics, it gives you the room for you to be able to do something you are doing at a smaller scale, to do it at a larger scale for the development of your community. And it also boils down to the interest at which you start. When you have a sincerity of purpose and you are committed to it, you will also get people who have like minds to it. God will always see you through. So for now, we are not a political organization, and we do not plan to be political organizations in any time soon. So if any of the actors here at some point in time felt the need to transition to politics, the organization will still continue running and is still going to be true to its mission. And because, like I've told you, we've been able to pass through almost, this one will be like the third election cycle, and we do not, even when we go to political office holders, we are not seeking favors from them. So we just want them to actually do what is right for the community.
So, but don't you think it will be more or less suicidal when you choose to be apolitical completely, and we're in a political era? Virtually everything you do is politics, even at home with your parents. Sometimes you have to be political, to live well and end well with them. So don't you think there is need for you, despite the fact that you have your own set goals, that you be politically inclined, so that you can get that thing that is duly for you?
Well, like he has defined it, I want to stand from there. Politics is not just about your self-interest.
Yes.
Frankly, we're doing this for the community, we're doing it for the youth, we're doing this for the society. So in a way, sometimes there might be need to play politics, but what we are making a threshold is that the politics which might be played, I'm not speaking for the organization entirely now, I'm saying maybe for me, if there will be a need for me to play politics, I would want it to be a politics for the society, not the kind of politics we see being played for personal interest, for family interest or anything. What we are aiming for is for the betterment of the youth and the society of Niger State at large, sir.
Okay, even though you say survey is ongoing, you are not actually done with the survey, so you can't say much about it. You wouldn't want you to give a wrong figure in terms of the statistics. But again, from the records, from what is happening, in as much as you don't want to dabble into politics, but you have your own members, the youths, who have actually found themselves into politics, but the way and manner they practice politics, is not taking them, they are not developing. How do you intend to tackle this? Because they are your member, wherever they are, you need to get them secured. What are you doing in regards to, youths who have, make themselves as agents of thuggery and whatever in terms of winning a political seat?
Yeah, so one of the things we do is we do trainings. And in the last in the last years, we've done different trainings for different people, and we've also partnered with different organizations. So I remembered sometimes in 2022, our organization, in partnership with UNICEF Nigeria and Generation Unlimited, which is an arm of UNICEF Nigeria, we were able to lead about a 1,500 young people across the 25 local government areas in Niger, to lead the birth registration process for the National Populations Commission. And we've also had a situation whereby sometimes last year, we also selected about 25 young people across Niger, to be able to also learn about policy development, how to craft policy, and also civic engagement. So we've been investing in the development of young people within our own reach, and we also have the intention to do more. And at every point in time, we've been also reaching out to development partners to see how they could also join us in youth development. And as is not to possibly fault what the government is doing, what we are also, and that's part of what we are actually advocating for. Once there is a policy framework on ground, which is the work of the government, which is what the government needs to do, then the rest. Private sector can come in, development partners can come in to actually come to complement what the government is doing. So the government cannot create work for everybody, but they can actually try to see, okay, how big organizations like the Dangote, the BUA can actually come in to set up their factories here in Niger. We have the vast arable land to say, okay, fine, we actually want more industries to actually come in. We have the Panti sugar factory and all that. So we have a lot of opportunities that young people could actually benefit from. If you look at the Niger State Civil Service, how many vacancies are there that could actually employ the teaming young people? So everybody, all young people in Niger cannot actually work in government. So, but once there are policy frameworks on ground that gives incentives to business owners, that gives maybe tax holiday to business owners, businesses will be willing to come in, and they will be able to develop more for the state. And you could see in the last couple of years, Mina is actually changing. And we hope that at the end of all these infrastructural development, more businesses will actually come in to be able to start off their own organizations here too in Niger.
Okay, now every organization requires resources to move around, to make it operational effectively and efficiently. Now that you've putting buffers on all your entry and exit doors for politicians, so that you don't allow politicians to double into your movement, then what is the source of your income? How do you generate resources to work around?
Yeah, so one of our core strengths of resource mobilization is when we started out using our own personal resources. At some point in time, we partner with development partners to partly sponsor some of the things we do. So sometimes if we need to possibly have a town hall meeting, for example, so we could say, okay, fine, if you can't support us. So we had a training for media practitioners sometimes last year here at the IBB Penthouse. So we partnered with the NUJ, Niger State chapter. So they gave us the hall. So we came with our own participants and we trained the journalists. So that's kind of the partnership we run. We look at organizations that could sponsor. We also possibly augment with our own little resources. And at some point in time, we also get grants for development organizations who actually are interested in what we do to actually complement the work we do. So it's not a one size fits. So we look at every area. So sometimes we also look at small business owners who are actually saying, okay, fine, we can commit to okay, we'll sponsor your banner. Okay, this one we say we'll do this just for community development. So that's how we do resource mobilization to be able to make sure that things happens, and well-meaning individuals too who also, because we are very careful of the intent of, okay, why are you giving what, so that we'll be very sure. And the key goal at the end of the day is giving has actually been politicized. So when you go to an event or you go to meet a person and you just snapped a picture, nobody know what you discussed with that person. And at the end of the day, if the picture should come out, they'll say, oh, maybe these people have gone to sold out, or possibly they've gone to do something against the will of the people. So we are very, very much conscious of that, and those are possibly ways how we do our own resource mobilization.
Okay, you have many or few development partners, since you actually leverage on them when it comes to organizing programs and your advocacy. Are they many or few, or you can give us some of the names of development partners you have?
So for this particular project that we are currently running, we have the Nigerian Youth Future Fund, so who are based in Abuja. It's a subset of the LEAP Africa, which is also a development organization. So we have the United Nations, that is they have a different arms. You have the UNDP, the UNICEF, the UNESCO. So these are some of development partners that actually are also interested in Niger itself. So, and sometimes what they do is they do not even, they also have their own programs, and they also look for organizations who are rooted in the states to possibly help them to implement. So there are sometimes that maybe some of the programs we implement are third-party implementation. So it's basically not maybe our own direct initiative. It's just maybe, okay, they already have their own plans, and we help to possibly implement and complement their efforts.
Okay, let's see if we can evaluate some of your activities. I'm coming to you now. Give us the number of some of the programs you have actually carried out.
Well, basically for us, I think this past Ramadan, within here in Mina, for the Altruistic Humanitarian Aid Foundation, we've had a partnership with organizations like the Halima Babangida Foundation, where we had ensured families were actually identified, people actually identified who were unable to feed properly, and we did a nutrition reach out on those families, where we helped distribute food items and even organized iftars for families and individuals across several areas within Mina Metropolis. So this happened, I think, not when was Ramadan? I think how many months ago?
That's about 3 months.
3 months ago, sir. So we had carried out, that was the recent activity we had just finished conducting within Mina Metropolis.
So what other challenges are you facing?
Well, you see, like you had mentioned earlier, a lot of things, no matter how good the intention is, there are people who assume you're carrying out the political will or assignment of individuals. It takes serious convincing for some people to understand whatever we're out here doing, we're doing for the good and the benefit of the people. It's a way of giving back to the community. It's a way of incorporating the society in whatever goodness is going. One of the major challenges I would say we had faced, it's the backlash from people always assuming that this is with another motive behind it. So it has really been a challenge since day one, and with sensitizations and awareness, some people are getting to see the light in everything we do, and they are gradually accepting and trying to be a part of it.
Okay, Shamsuddin, aside from this advocacy, do you have any other thing? Because you need to actually disabuse the minds of some of the youths who, anytime they see this type of advocacy, they read meanings to it. It's either political, or you're actually out to extort money, or you're actually out to enrich yourself, or something. A lot of narration, is being attached to this type of. How do you disabuse the minds looking at your own initiatives?
Yeah, so today is the 10th day of June 2026. And I'm using this medium and opportunity to tell all Nigerites and all Niger State youths in particular listening that this is an assurance from us that we will do everything humanly possible to make sure that the Niger State Youth Policy comes to life, and we are not going to sell the conscience of the Niger State youths and the trust that we have. So to also give a background, I used to be a former student union leader at Federal University of Technology, Mina. I served as a president 2017-2018 academic session. And
what organization is this? SUG or NANIS or what?
So it's SUG.
It's a student union government.
Yes, Student Union Government, Federal University of Technology, Mina, 2017-2018 academic session. And within that period, for those that are in Mina and for those that are in FUT at that time, so even those who also we the larger student union body, both NANIS, NANS, NAUS, all those ones. So we had the cause to interact with them together. And majority of them know me and they know what we stand for. And one of the things that we did is to make sure that we do not sell out the rights of Nigerian students at the time. So now leading this particular advocacy for the Niger State Youth Policy is just to reassure them that the way we didn't actually sold out the rights of Nigerian students at the time would also not sold out the rights of Niger State youth now. In any way forward, because at the tail end, what I've got to realize is even if you go to collect millions of naira from maybe a political office holder or from any third party, you will spend the money will finish, and you will still have to meet people every single day. So when you meet the people, so what kind of relationship, what kind of things, how do you deal with people? Because the money has finished, and what kind of relations will you want to have with people at the end of the day? So that's my philosophy of life, and that's what I've actually stood for over the years.
So, Mubarak, how did it take to join or to be part and parcel of this movement? What did it take?
What it took to be part of it?
Yes.
Well, I think it came from the recognition of what one can be able to offer. Just being a part of organization is not everything. There has to be something you can do to move the organization forward. There has to be something you can do to make the organization know the problems of the people. There has to be something you can do to make the organization aware of solutions to offer to the problem. So for me personally, being a part of this, I would say it's not a simple task. It's a sincere honor. And there is a word I do live by. You see, the mind is a very powerful place. And what you feed it can affect you in a very powerful way. I have been made to understood that there's something bigger than myself. To the best of my ability, I keep reminding myself, whatever cause we are going to reach out to in this course of advocacy we're doing, it should be for the people. When I say for the people, I definitely would also fall into the category. So it's not an easy task, sincerely, especially that my bosses here have been making me lose sleep, and I really appreciate them for the trust, and I appreciate them for taking me out there to understand the problems of the people.
Well, this is an interactive and such within us here. It's a phone-in participatory. We're going to open the phone line, but just before we do that, let me get one more question. Thing from you. One who wants to join the movement, what is the modalities? What is the criteria?
Okay, so I'll state it outrightly on possibly the kind of cadres we have. So one of the first set of people that are actually very important to this cause are the government, those and the ministry, especially the Ministry of Youth, and also the state's governor. So we want to appeal the fact that once we so because we've already kickstarted the stakeholders engagement, so when it comes to the fact that the document is ready, we want to appeal to every well-meaning Nigerian to see how the state government signs the Niger Statute policy into law. Then the second one has to do with the youth-led organizations in Niger. So we are open to advocacy. So everybody for youth-led organizations, they have maybe their community members. We are open to possibly even educate Nigerites on what the National Youth Policy stands for. It has about 9 key areas. We have education and entrepreneurship. We have peace and development, peace and security. So each and all those ones, we have agriculture, we have health, and even in health, we're also looking at mental health. So this is what the document itself contains, so that once you have access to it, if you go online, we could also share so we could share you the flyers where you even have to even read on your own what the content of the National Youth Policy is, so that once you understand it, you can also educate your members. For young people in Niger, how they can actually come in is by also participating in the survey. So you could also go to our social media handles at Glowing Minds Initiative, and also on at AHAF on Instagram. So you could also find the link there to also share your thoughts. Tell us, and we are assuring you that all this is going to be compiled and taken to the box of the Ministry of Youth. So, and I also remember in one of our encounter with the Ministry of Youth, interestingly, they also said they are also conducting a survey at the ministry also on what exactly are the needs of young people. So I also want to also commend the efforts of the current commissioner, because since coming into office, there have been some efforts that he's been making to make sure that the young people in Niger are well represented. There were trainings for youth-led NGOs. There were trainings for young people. Some were taken from Mina to Abuja for training. So those are some of the efforts that have been taken. So, but we want that to be cascaded at a statewide approach, whereby somebody from Gulmumboka, far away around Rijau, can also benefit. Somebody from Wawa in far away Kainji can also benefit. Somebody from maybe Tafa local government can also benefit from programs like that. So that's the kind of approach we actually want. And we are in the era of digital age. So there are more around advocacy that young people and youth-led organizations can also help us to join in to advocate for the need to have the Niger State Youth Policy.
Thank you very much for that exciting, explanation. Believing that our listeners, particularly the youths, are well informed, and they will take advantage of this advocacy that is coming to liberalize them, so that they can stop being dependent and do the right thing, so that the future that owes a lot for them, they will take advantage of that. So let's take it to the phone line so that we get to have callers from our listeners. Our very first caller. Hello.
Hello, Usman Afaya, good morning.
Good morning, Abdul Mutallab, I suppose.
I so salute your guests for their wonderful submission.
Yes.
And for their resilience to come up with this kind of, association. Am I correct?
Initiative, advocacy, youth advocacy.
Yes. There are two questions I would want to ask. The first question goes like this. At what age does youth commence? And what is the cessation age? The second question goes like this. When we look at the population of Nigeria today, 75% of total population of Nigeria is constituted by youth. And when we look at the youth today, are they the youth we are dreaming or we are yearning for to rescue Nigeria from the menace we are in today? Neither our society nor our airspace is safe today. In politics, you find them in political thuggery. In sports, you find them in sport hooliganism. In airspace, you find them in all forms of cyber crime. Mr. Resource persons there, what are you doing to curb this menace? Have you any plan in your platform to organize a colloquium to rescue this, to liberate, which word will I even apply? I don't know. For the youth from this kind of menace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's gather a few questions so that you answer this simultaneously. 09138579001 is the number to call. We are looking at today. We are looking at youth advocacy, and we have Growing Minds Initiative
and the Altruistic Humanitarian Aid Foundation.
Yes, they are in the studio to actually tell us the plan they have for youth in Niger State, so that there can be a policy direction that take care of the youth in Niger State. Hello.
Thank you, Usman Apaya.
Good morning, Aluta Obasanjo.
Thank you, the great comrade in the house, the two great comrades in the house. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. What I need from you, sir, it's just your number. Then the other things, we can speak it out of the box, sir.
All right, what
Please,
you do? What you do? Not it. Not it. Probably, I think what we're going to do. You send your number. Okay, I think I used to have your number, so that
It's okay.
you can give him. Then you communicate. So remind me.
Thank you, sir.
Give you his number.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Yes. 09138579001 is number to call, and of course make your voice heard on this discussion. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Apaya. Good morning this morning.
Good morning, Alaji Abdulhadi Photos.
Thank you for having me. I still remember Prince Alaji Abdulhadi Photo, the land of Boso Kingdom. In fact, my brother with you there, you are highly welcome. Our Kogu is ambassador of changers, ambassador of the youth changer in Nigeria. You see, we are saying that it's not too young to run in Nigeria, just like our former president said. Who are those youth not too young to run? Is it the dream of the youth we are seeing today? Is it the dream the politicians are used for thoughtfully today? Is it the youth are inside kidnapping people in the bush? What is happening with our youth? If I have said that our leader have made a mistake, what is our youth doing today to return this country to the promised land? As far as I'm concerned, I will not say that the youth have disappointed us. The youth, if they know way from their slumber, the youth have disappointed themselves in Nigeria. Why am I saying that? You look at from the Arab nation today, a little thing, we see the youth, the way they handle the situation is not what we are seeing in this country today. And we don't have any country more than Nigeria. If we say that Nigeria, we are expecting somebody from Western country, Arab nation, Asian nation to come and destroy this promise, this country to promise land, we are all deceiving ourselves. This is our opportunity for the youth. It's not too yet late. I know by the time they will to wake up from their slumber, not to go and be beating politician correct 500, 1,000 to cast their vote. In the name of saying their right, where their hardship is coming from. I think I feel it's a bunch of disappointment. It's now for them to come out and do the right thing so that we can be able to promise, we will proud with them at the ending of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much, Alaji Habdi. Let's take one more and return to you so you could actually react to some of these issues raised. But I think we have some messages on the Facebook. Let me take advantage of that to read the messages that we have. So if there are questions there, we have this one coming from Aboking Moswe Adam. Said, hello, good morning, how are you? We're doing fine. Adamu T. Hali said, hi, Badeggi radio station. Well done. I am Adamu Tanko Hali from Bida. Thank you very much. You just want to greet us. Baba Ali said, good morning to you all over there. Thank you very much. We have another one coming from Moses Israel. He said, how can I be involved in this? My number is giving his number. Should I call it? Should I write it? He said, my number is 07. Okay, you take it later, right? He said, I'm not joking. That's what he said. He's coming back to say, who are the youths? Did youths, okay, did youths ready? Did youths the sense belonging have sense of belonging? The youths, are they ready to take over Nigeria president? The youths, let's say the youths, are they educated enough? Only a uselessness youths that behaving toggery in cities, city, or even in banditry. Question is that did youth ever see rich childs in the bush doing kidnapping, toggery, and snatching boxes of during election? No. I ask, who are the youth on earth? What is your purpose on earth? Why? So it let arise a lot of questions after our parent deliver you, brought you to earth. It's just a question that he has been asking. So I have this one coming from Ibrahim Saleh. He said, youth advocacy in Niger State empowers young people to to shape governance, demand accountability, and drive community development. Key points: civic empowerment, teach voting, policy monitoring, and right awareness, leadership training, build skills in public speaking, research and advocacy, accountability, take leaders promise, example, via platform like Youth Govern Tracker, and take them responsible. Community projects, launch initiative in agriculture, education and security, media use, harness radio, social media and town hall to amplify voices. In conclusion, he said, ensure girls, rural youths and marginalized group participates. Partnership, collaborate with NGOs, government and faith organization for support. The advocacy builds a resilient, inclusive Niger State. That is his message. So I think you can do reaction to some of these callers.
All right. For the first caller who actually asked about the age, I'm very, very happy with that particular question.
Yes, we need to know the age limit, age bracket.
Yeah. So at different fora as well, discussing what is even the real age of young people. There are different because while this particular question is very important is because at some point in time you might not be able to access opportunities because the age is limited. So according to the last national youth policy we had, which was from 2019 to 2024. So the last national youth policy covers the age of young people, a definition of young people in Nigeria to be between somebody from the ages of 18 to 29. So, but then the one that we use, according to the United Nations, so United Nations pegged the definition, yes, the age limit to 35. So somebody between the ages of 18 to 35. So when you now want to possibly benefit from some other programs from development partners like UNICEF is now looking at, okay, by the age of 15, somebody is already out of secondary school. So, and possibly is already maybe planning to enter university. So UNICEF pegged their own age to be between ages of 15 to 24. So, but then what we use for planning currently in Nigeria, if you need to benefit from government opportunities, is from the ages of 18 to 35. So when you need to, so I think that's the most acceptable and the standard one. But according to the last national youth policy, so that's why you might see that maybe there is a call for application and they said, okay, it's restricted to people within so age. And the reason for that is the wisdom behind it is expected that maybe if you go through the university system, you maybe live by the age of maybe 20, 24, between 24 to 25, you should be able to have a meaningful thing that you are doing with your life. So, but then, sometimes last year, when Joberman had a survey of the informal sector in Nigeria, one of the things that particular document find out was the fact that it takes an average Nigerian graduate 5 years to find a meaningful job. A meaningful job. So I'm stressing on the word meaningful job. So then it might be that, okay, maybe he graduated, there is this back and forth managing in a place, but the time that we should, okay, fine, he's earning sustainably, it takes 0 to 5 years after graduation for an average Nigerian youth to find a meaningful job. So within that frame, those were some of the thoughts that goes into the fact that, okay, a young person, for him to be able to have a voice. So because one of the definition or one of the things that the National Youth Policy aims to achieve is the fact that a young person who is sane, that is hale and hearty, that's why we're looking at the health and mental health aspect of the policy, is educated, that means he has access to this, he has the skills, then civic engagement, he knows the laws and everything. So at that particular time, it is expected that by the ages of maybe 29, you are a full-blown Nigerian youth, you know your rights, you are educated, you are possibly empowered with skills, so you could also voice out and live meaningfully as a young person within the state. But because majority of all these things are lacking, and that's why there is a need for, number one, the policy, then there is also a need for more strong implementation for we to be able to have it. And it is until that time that vision that we're actually looking for would be benefited.
Before you go further, I will want to say something because there is a point of growth here. You will have to update your policy because your policy as it stands now actually expel some youth from the youth constituency because the age you are paying for the youth now. Then what do you want to do with some of us who are within the age bracket out of 40 to 45, 45 to 50? We are missing. You understand? We are not within the constituency of the old, and the youths, our own fellow youths, have actually expelled us. So I don't know. You will have to do updating.
So let me explain that. So like I said, there are different agitations and different questions. So that's why when the policy is being designed, it is expected that everybody is in the room. Now we are now having advocacy from people with disability, and it is because of their advocacy now that we now have the disability rights. Okay. So now there is also the National Commission for Old People. Okay. So if you are between maybe after 60 years of age, the federal government under Muhammadu Buhari now established that. So I don't know what they want to categorize young people. Maybe there is a difference between a young person and a youth. Okay. Yes. So, but the idea of why the design is very important for the youth policy is because when government needs to design programs, when government needs to design activities that will benefit and possibly make a young person to be a better contribution to the society. So they are looking at people who are most vulnerable. So they believe that you are most vulnerable between that age of 18 to 35. You might not be able to stand on your own. By 35, the assumption now, so I'm using assumption. By 35, it is assumed that you are able to possibly know the difference between left and right, and you can actually stand on your own by 35.
Okay, this call for more time so that you can give us. With our time is already almost been fast spent. We have I don't know if you can react to this in 2 minutes.
Yes. So the other one has to do with what are our plans for the youth. So the plans we have for young people, we at organizational level, we have different programs that we run. So we have the graduate employability program, which builds the skills of young people, both on employability and soft skills. We have also the Young Climate Entrepreneurship program that young people benefit from. And we also have the Young Civic Leaders and Community Influencers program. So that we had sometimes last month in Suleja. And so we have different programs that we run. So I think the best bet is for anybody who is listening to possibly look out for it on our social media handles at Glowing Minds Initiative. When those opportunities comes, you could actually apply. So but then on a larger scale, one of the things that we actually look out for is we want it to be more liberalized so that it is going to be a statewide, whereby people are going to be able to benefit from it irrespective of where they are. So and that's why we are clamoring for the Niger State Youth Policy. So once the policy is available, anybody can actually design programs that will benefit young people in Niger.
Okay. That will be right?
Yes, that's...
Yes, so what's your parting word very quickly because of time? We just have just 60 seconds to that. Less than 60 seconds, sorry.
All right, so my parting words is to call for every young person to know that this is not another charade. It's a very, very important cause that we are committed to, and we are also calling on the government to please ensure the speedy passage of the Niger State Youth Policy once the document is ready.
And I would just want the youth to know, if the documentation is done effectively, it gives us room for easy accountability of what the government is doing for the funding for the youth and the implementations for programs for the youth.
Well, listeners, that has been the voices of some executive members of Growing Minds initiative, an initiative that's to do with the youth advocacy, and they are out to make sure that they liberalize the youth and give the youth the sense of direction. We hope and pray that the policy, the direction that is coming from Niger State is going to be a very, very delightful one that will actually take the youth to the promised land. Well, this is where the curtain fall for today on this program. We sincerely like to thank our listeners for taking your time, and want to thank our guests, believing that you will have a perceptive trip back to your various destination. On behalf of everybody here,